welcome to another episode of the Top Bid 90 Show. This is your host, Jorge. Our show is all about soccer. We talk European, we talk MLS, we talk Premier League, we talk everything soccer. Today on the show, I've got Nick, who's a huge Man City fan, and I've got Kennedy, big Newcastle fan. Boys, how are you today?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm doing okay, man. My boys lost today, so
Could be better.
yeah.
I'm feeling good after our 2-0 win today. So
Yeah, man. So we don't really have to ask you who you support. I mean, like, your shirt says it all, huh?
yeah, I came dressed for the part for sure.
He definitely supports United.
You see all that bleed red.
You ever see that? Who was it? The guy, Neil Patrick Harris, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Where like he's at a game and he's got like the Man City like stuff on, and he's like at the soccer game, go Manchester United. You never seen that?
No, I haven't.
What?
No.
That video is super viral.
No, when was this?
Like 2 or 3 years ago, like he was wearing a full-blown Man City kit. Him and
Doogie
his son or
Howser?
something.
Nice. Okay.
And then he's like, go Manchester United.
I'll have to check that out.
You really have to. Nice.
Biggest fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool. So I want to start off the show today talking a little bit about the Premier League. I mean, this transfer window, to be honest, was a pretty boring one. It was only exciting as a Liverpool fan because we have no defenders, and we brought two in. So we brought in Ben Davies, who's going to be a squad player, and we also brought in Kabak from Schalke. So I think he's got the potential to, out of both of them, to be probably the best one. And so it'll be interesting to see him play in the next couple of games. Although after today's L is really frustrating because I feel like it kind of pushes us a little bit out of the title race. But we'll talk more about that here in a bit. But Arsenal made some decent signings. They got Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid, even Newcastle. They got in your boy Joe Willock.
Yeah,
So
big ups, Willock.
yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this window?
I feel like you could only do so much this window due to the
Yeah.
simple fact, COVID has reduced not only cash flow within clubs, but it's knocked the price down on a lot of players.
Yeah.
And I mean, kind of coming back to that first point I made, again, a lot of clubs don't have the money to splurge on players they normally would. And especially, if the bigger clubs are struggling, you got to think about the smaller clubs as well, like the Burnleys, the Palaces, and stuff like that. And I know for a fact, probably they're not in the best financial position to be making signings like that. And I mean, just looking at Newcastle, our one signing that we made was a loan player. We got Willock,
True.
which I mean, I'm eager to see how he's going to fit into the midfield role.
Yeah, even Liverpool, man. I mean, like, we bought two players, but like the net spends like 1.5 million, and with an option to buy. Like, we don't have to really get this guy if we don't want to.
Yeah, that's just to piggyback off what he said. I'd heard a lot of clubs were. They're kind of waiting to see potentially if there'll be fans this season, but especially fans next season. And so this window, like he said, was always probably going to be really small. Not a lot of big moves. Really, I mean, if you think about it, did anybody like across any of the big leagues make any
man.
big? I probably like Odegaard was probably like the highest profile one that kind of moved.
At least in the Premier League, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad for Odegaard. He's finally kind of coming into his own. He's kind of filling that role of like the 16-year-old prodigy he once
For
was.
real, bro. I
mean,
feel like he's been around forever, and he's only 22.
We've been hearing a lot
Yeah,
about
no,
him for a long
real.
time.
Like in the States, he would like have his 1 year anniversary to be able to get alcohol.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's hilarious. Yeah, even I think I read somewhere that this is Real Madrid's third transfer window where they haven't bought anybody. So I mean, like, it's affected everybody.
It's that Eden Hazard effect.
For real, man.
He eats up everything, including all your all the money.
I was gonna say all the food because you got a little bit chunky on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything.
It was so hilarious that Real Madrid posted something about him, and I saw like
Burger King.
Spain retweeted it.
It's like it's because we got the 2 for 1. They did him wrong for that, man.
After that, like, he went to the gym straight off the bat.
real.
Like,
Oh man.
Hopefully that admin didn't get fired for that.
Yeah.
if anything, he got a pay raise.
Right? Yeah. It's like this is our biggest tweet ever.
He's got his Barcelona shirt on.
yeah. Oh man.
He's eating a Whopper as he's tweeting that.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. A team I kind of feel for that was looking on the up is Arsenal, man. they had a good run of wins. The game against Man United, they did decent 0-0. And then this weekend, yesterday when they played Wolves, first 45 minutes they looked good. And then David Luiz got that controversial red card. Leno, I have no idea what he was doing.
Oh, man.
And then Joao Moutinho with that goal, bro. Oh, my God.
I mean, I feel like it should be like a written rule, like don't let Moutinho have space, like
Outside
at
the
least
box
20
right
yards
there.
out.
Yeah.
That's like the equivalent to like him shooting the long shot, like the equivalent to a forward having the one-on-one. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I won't say like that high of a percentage of finishing it, but I mean, if I was to pick anybody to shoot from like 25, 30 out, like Moutinho is my guy.
Yeah.
If you look at that game, you know, it's one of those great examples of like everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. You know, when I'm watching other games, I really do try to be as objective as I can, you know, and even watching the highlights on YouTube, like when David Luiz makes that call, the commentator is like, oh, he just no contact there. You know, no one thought that was going to be a penalty. I mean, it looked really, really soft for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then on top of that, like the red card.
Yeah,
I was like, what? I was like, you guys have VAR.
Yeah.
Like, you guys overturn
That-
goals.
that's
You can clearly see. Like
what
this
even makes it
this is
worse.
not- and it's crazy because they spent like no time on it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you know, they just kind of went off bat and was just like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to look at this. I don't like David Luiz, so I'm going to give him the red card.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like that, man. It was like, okay, this guy has a rep of making some dumb fouls and getting red cards. So, like, I guess the referee just assumed, like, it's going to happen. But, like, even then, like, yeah, you have VAR. Like, I feel like England uses it the worst, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, apparently, because it was a penalty, I mean, like, it was a penalty. Like, he didn't mean to do it, but it's still a penalty. I get that.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, he shouldn't get a red card for that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I'd be okay if they decide. Well, I'd not okay, but I thought penalty
As a
would have been.
neutral.
Yeah, penalty would have been all right. I can see it with the way he slowed down in VAR, but the red, I just like, come on, man. It just did not. And the way the Wolves player, I don't know what, just flung himself like you know, they do that. They throw their chest out, their arms in the air. It was, you know, he sold it really
It's the
well.
Portuguese effect.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
They're all like 5'9" and under, bro. Like,
Jorge Mendes FC, yeah,
It pretty much is.
yeah.
No, one of their kits, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, either they're aware their alternates like red to like signify like to symbolize like Portugal's like red jerseys and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
as soon
man.
as Nuno came, like whole staff went Portuguese, everything
real,
went
bro.
Portuguese,
Yeah.
bro. Like
But you can't knock them, man. I
No,
mean, this season they're not
no.
doing that
Yeah.
great, but like,
This
I mean, but
they
no,
lost
like,
their strike. They lost the striker, and they've just been
yeah.
I mean,
so bad.
and they've been constantly trying to fill that role. You know,
Yeah.
I knew Jimenez played a massive role, but whenever he came out, it's almost like they were just dropping points.
I mean,
bro.
yeah, I honestly I did not think that they would be this bad without him.
No.
I thought they're a pretty good team. They should be able to fight through it, but man,
Yeah,
it's just
I mean, especially considering the fact like it's only one player. You know,
Yeah,
Liverpool,
yeah.
for example, like bro, their injury list goes on.
Yeah,
they
bro.
have Henderson playing center back.
I know.
Like
And
if
fuck-
that tells you anything,
we know how
you
that
know,
is. I know how that is.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy just because.
Which to me, it was kind of interesting to, like, just see, like, yeah, the impact of one player. Because, like, okay, we get kind of handled without Van Dijk. Okay, Joe Gomez. Okay, like, bro, like, when is it going to end?
Yeah, they keep getting hurt.
Diogo Jota came in and just lit up the league for us, and then boom, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? And so
Bro, what was his injury? What happened to him again? I totally forgot.
I don't remember his injury, but I know it was he'll be back mid-February. It's just so many injuries that it's hard to keep up now. ACL this guy, thigh, ACL this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It seems a lot longer too when they play so many games.
It does.
You know, like that guy's been out forever. It's like not really. There's just been 20 games and
yeah.
like 3 weeks or something. You know,
Yeah,
so
I mean, it doesn't help that like every other day it's like you're playing a game
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like considering the fact, you know, for the most part, I'm used to seeing the Premier League on the weekends. Now you
Mhm.
show more games on the weekdays than the
Yeah.
weekends. Like,
Yeah.
Do you see let's talk a little bit about West Ham too, man. I think they're having an amazing season this year. Do you see them in a European spot?
I don't know about the European spot, but I will say they have adapted to, you know, for example, a lot of teams kind of falling off a little bit. They've realized and they've taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
I think that David Moyes has come in and done a great job
Yeah.
You know, I mean, considering the fact whenever I think about Moyes, I just think of how bad he was at United.
Yeah.
You know, but he's really came into his own over here. I think I would like to see them in a European position, you know, especially considering the fact West Ham fans, like Newcastle fans, really haven't had anything to celebrate for, like, I don't know how long. So seeing, like, West Ham get, like, a Champions League draw would be, like, absolutely insane.
It would.
Yeah, they Moyes, I think he fits that club very well as far as his type of, well, I don't want to say style, but, you know, I just don't see David Moyes as like a top 6 manager.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
and I think West Ham fits him pretty well in that aspect of, you know, they work with him, you know, the players, he's got enough players in there to do their system. I think I saw Lingard already scored today for
Yeah, he
him.
scored twice for them.
Oh, so
No way.
yeah, so so yeah, you know, I as far as seeing them in
Lingard effect, man.
yeah, right, doing little
Lingardinho.
Yeah, right.
They go off on him on social media, man.
It's I don't know if they'll be European, but hey, you know, they'd be fun
They're
to watch.
definitely punching above their weight.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be higher than Newcastle at the end of the day, especially at the end of this season. So I'm just praying I just don't want relegation again. Like,
Yeah, I think that the bottom 3 will stay the bottom 3.
oh yeah, there's like
Even Brighton with their 2 dubs against us and Tottenham, like, okay, like they kind of even separated themselves even more from that pack.
like from Fulham, I think they're the closest team to get out of the relegation zone, and they're at like 14 points, and Newcastle's at like 22.
Yeah.
Sheffield United,
They're done,
They're
man.
done,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And it's crazy considering the fact, like, look at the season they had last season. Like, they had a really good run going, especially for a team that just got promoted from the championship.
Yeah.
I generally don't know, like, what happened.
That's the power of the Premier League, man. Like, I feel like anybody can beat anybody, and like one season you'll be good, but the other one, like, okay, like it's gonna be tough. Even like this title race this year, like it's been such a hard call to make, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the smaller clubs, the ones that are going to be scrapping, you know, like 15 to 20, they're really, really, especially hurting without not having fans. And I think Sheffield,
That's a good point.
you know, they you know, Turf Moor, really tough place to play. Craven Cottage, you know, Fulham, really tough place to play. They're small. Like the fans are on top of the players. Like, I you know, I think those small clubs really, it's hurting them a lot not being able to have anybody in there.
So it makes sense why City's leading the league, right?
Nice. I like that.
It's a good little dig.
Hey, you know, in the reverse, I think it also explains why, you know, Liverpool's been very beatable at Anfield.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
That is very valid.
You know, I don't think, you know, however 50,000 people screaming at the Burnley players, I don't think they're able to scrap a win from you guys.
Yeah.
You know, however, I just took that number out of the air.
I always refer to like the Anfield magic, and we've lost that the last couple of games.
I mean, I think Liverpool's I mean, your injuries haven't helped either, but you guys have Fortress, you know, Anfield over there, and so
awesome. Well, getting into that, man, like this weekend, one of the biggest games in the Premier League. We've got Liverpool, we're fourth now behind Leicester. Good Lord, playing Man City. And Man City's just been flying, man. What I've been impressed with Man City this season is not the forward line, but the defense, man. Ruben Diaz came in there and has just been amazing. And even John Stones, man, like he took Laporte
his whole
out.
Career.
Like
he really for the longest time, like, you know, John Stone. I'm not gonna say I didn't rate him highly.
Yeah.
But in comparison to the center backs at City, you know, I wouldn't put him over them.
Yeah.
I would say that. I like that he's very capable with his feet as a center back, which is, I think, the reason why Pep initially really liked him.
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, other defenders came and injuries happened. And I mean, I'm glad he's finally getting his chance to kind of build his confidence back up and, you know, maybe get himself in an England contention place.
Yeah.
No, you know, Ruben's been amazing. I'll be honest, I thought all summer we were going to get Koulibaly, and everybody else was so convinced that we were going to get Koulibaly from Napoli because the first article that went up on the City website when we signed Ruben Diaz accidentally had Koulibaly's name in it.
Really?
Yeah, like one part of it they had forgot to edit. Like they had already typed out a whole article about a signing, and like his name was in it.
Oh,
Yeah, and obviously they took care of that, and then
some lazy admins.
Big
well, the Koulibaly thing went on for all summer,
Yeah, it did.
and then finally I think we got sick of the Napoli president, and we made a run at the guy from Sevilla, Koundé, and then Ruben came up, and I'm thinking, okay, I'd heard about Ruben before. I don't know about you guys. I don't follow the Portugal league
not as
outside,
much,
aside from the teams that may be playing the Champions League. So I'd heard he was rated, and he came in, man. He's just been an absolute beast. And John Stones, I guess it sounds like things are coming out. He was going through some personal things the past season and a half, on top of his injuries, and on top of just other people stepping up.
To me, John Stones looked like he looks like a West Ham, Everton, Leicester kind of defender for a while. Because after Firmino bodied him at Anfield and scored when we won 4-3, there I was like, okay, like this guy is not gonna recover from that,
Mm-hmm.
And like he had a tough season after that, but like he's really been impressive now. Like I mean, to take out Emerick Laporte out of the squad, and he was to me one of the best defenders of the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been he's definitely undergoing like a really awesome renaissance period, and it's funny you bring up Laporte. Basically what kind of ended up happening at the beginning of the season is that we had so many games that we had to rotate Laporte, and Stones just stepped up. Yeah, he took advantage of it, and that's been that's all she wrote. He's been
well, listen, if
tough.
they want to sell him to Liverpool, him and Van Dijk next year.
I mean, at this point, I feel like you would take Jamal Lascelles.
You take like Vincent Company, right?
Yeah,
coaching
much,
in Belgium.
man. I think Carragher could still do something for us.
God.
Wind slide, hips broken.
Yeah.
Like
The one silver lining I had with this Man City team was that I didn't see, like, to me, Jesus is not, like, Gabriel Jesus isn't the guy for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Aguero is the guy. When
Yeah.
you talk about strikers. Gabriel Jesus, to me, isn't that guy. And your goals have been spread out more this season. And I'm like, okay, like, if teams figure out a way to stop so many midfielders from scoring, like, I feel like, okay, there could be some frustrating games where they end 1-1 or 0-0.
Yeah. No, that's a good point about Gabby. I call him Gabby. He is a different type of player than Aguero, and he is absolutely could get better about his finishing.
Yeah.
But what he kind of brings to the table that Aguero doesn't is his ability to kind of play on the wing, and he's done that for us a couple of times. But he is not Aguero. We're everything I've heard, we're going to go pretty strong for a big name striker this summer, or striker period. And so it'll be. And he brought up the midfield. I think all of it's connected. I think with our improved midfield, the press has improved, which has improved our defense greatly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Rodrigo, Cancelo to me has been the biggest surprise. João Cancelo.
Yeah.
And
He's been good.
he's been out of this. It always takes unless you're like goalkeeper or like center back for Pep, it takes you a season to get in. Like,
That's true.
you know what I mean? Like Mahrez, Sané, all these guys, Bernardo Silva, even they didn't. It took them it was like their second or third season where it's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing and everything. So yeah, our midfield's been playing awesome.
Because even I mean, like, I think who played at the false nine against Chelsea? Was it De Bruyne? I think De Bruyne's played there. I've seen
Bernardo's played there. It's usually the front three will kind of it's weird, man. Everything from my understanding is that very rarely are guys aside from the defense are in set spaces, if that makes sense. Like, apparently we've unlocked this new, or Pep has João Cancelo. He'll be on the right back, when you see the team sheet, but when we're in possession, we shift to a back three. Rodrigo drops back, so it's a back four, and Cancelo's just all over the place.
Okay.
And he's been able to do crazy stuff. So, yeah, it'll be I would think I don't think Gabriel's starting Sunday, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Zach Steffen at the number 2 though? Do you think that he's over or underrated?
No, I think Zach is rated exactly as he should be, which is backing up. Backing up.
Almost like Dean Henderson-esque.
I mean, because Pep came out, he's like, it's Eddie's number 1.
Yeah.
Like, it's not up for the debate. But whenever Steffen comes in, he does his job.
Yeah.
He does what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And, I mean, watching him, there's a couple of things. His handling skills aren't necessarily the best, I feel like. But he'll get the ball away. But I think he's a solid number 2. I mean, for the United States, for having a number 2 playing at Man City.
That's big.
It's big.
I mean,
huge, bro.
Pep, like.
But you know what? Like, the U.S. has alwaed had, like,
That's the
quality
one position we've been
goalkeepers.
stacked
Yeah,
in.
that's
That is
true.
the only position.
Where you can use your hands.
That makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, back at goalkeepers were the first. I'm pretty sure were one of the first positions to really go international from the United States. You had like Casey Keller, like
Good
Tony
point.
Miola.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Friedel.
Yeah,
Friedel.
Man was at Villa for forever.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Zach. I'm so happy for the U.S. men's national team that we have anybody playing for such a high-profile team. He's backing up. Yeah, but he's backing up the goalkeeper is playing for arguably a top 3, top 2 side in the whole world.
Of course.
And so that's great. I think it's
who himself is one of the top 5 goalkeepers.
He's like 11 or 12 clean sheets or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of whether he's he's doing, that stat alone says it all. You can't take a goalkeeper who has 11, 12 clean sheets, put him on a bench, and bring somebody else.
Yeah,
out.
no. I don't think Zach should start over Ederson,
not at all.
but I think he's on the right path, and it makes me super happy.
Let me ask you guys this. So, in the Premier League era, the biggest rivalry has always been like the Arsenal Man United was kind of like the biggest one in terms of like spectacle. You know what I'm saying? You had.
Because for the longest time, you had Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira going at it head to head for I don't know how many seasons.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how, and I know we're gonna probably transition into it. I think Manchester City and Liverpool was going to
be my question.
Has taken that game.
I don't think that rivalry is up there yet, but it's getting close.
No.
In terms of quality, though, I think personally, I believe this one's better than that one.
Within the past 4 to 5 years, it's overtaken that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Ever since Klopp took the reins at Liverpool, I feel like, maybe not the first year.
Yeah.
But after that, that's whenever that match started.
And it's helped that
really
we've played you guys in the Champions League. I mean, I can remember the one season where we were neck to neck and we went to City and then Aguero just scores the most
crazy,
amazing goal.
Yeah.
God.
Crazy angle. Yeah.
No, he had no space, and
he had been fouled right before that. If you watch him, Van Dijk takes him out.
But like the rivalry's getting up there. The only thing is missing is that little spice. You know what I'm saying? Because like Klopp and Pep just eulogize on each other. Like they never like.
And it's one of those things where it's like the players like Roy Keane and Pat, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
100%. Roy Keane will 2-foot somebody, and then you just if you
That's a good point, man. I mean, I cut you off. That's a great point. I think in this day and age, that kind of
happened.
It's we're not gonna those type of rivalries are gonna be few and far between, unfortunately. But I agree. I mean, they've been the top 2 teams going against each other as far as the Premier League. I mean, Liverpool's got a whole bunch of Champions League, and so Pep and Klopp know each other. There is a little bit. I don't know. There was that last season when we gave you guys the honor guard. Like some people tried to make a big deal about how Bernardo Silva was holding he didn't. I don't know. He was holding a cup of coffee or something, and people thought Liverpool fans got offended by that. And there was that time I think Company tackled Salah or something, and Salah kind of was on the ground, and Company leaned over him and said a not so friendly things. So, I think those days of like just getting crazy yellow cards and tackling, I think those are gone. But it's great to watch either way.
And in this era, those are the only two teams to get such a high tally of points.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool got 97 2 seasons ago, 99. The season we won the Prem. Man City got 198. I mean, those are ridiculous.
Insane.
I mean, I think the best Man U team got 94. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, and it's just crazy. I wish that the fans genuinely could be in the stadiums to watch this title race, because this is the best title race that I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
It's so neck
in terms
and
of
neck.
the amount of teams
it's
around
so
it.
neck and neck. Like
Yeah.
last season, Liverpool was blowing people out the
Yep.
water. You already knew by the time the second half of the season came around, they were going to win the title.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I'm not going to say it took the fun out of watching it, but it did take the
If
fun
you're
out
not
of
a
watching
Liverpool
it.
fan,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you guys think? What are the keys for Man City to go to Anfield and win this weekend?
I'll be honest. We've won so many games in a row. I think we're probably due for a draw or taking a loss, which I'm okay with. We never play good at Anfield.
Yeah.
Again, though,
You've never won under Klopp there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've won at Anfield.
At least 7 years.
It's been a long, long time, man. And maybe the fact there won't be any fans there, that'll help. But I think that the key is just to stop you guys' counterattack. And
100. I agree with what you're saying. They got to stop the counter. But what Man City I think is really going to utilize is the fact that you don't have true center backs right now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
They're going to look to try to get in behind.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think that that's really one of the big differences coming into this game. I mean, 'cause who are you going to fill into that role?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think Fabinho will be back for that game. Ali will be back for that game, and goalkeeper. And I was thinking he'd probably either try in Kabak or Davies in there. But I'm okay, it's because I feel like he was saving. Even Alisson didn't play today because he was a little bit sick, and so I think he was okay, we have enough to get a dub today, but we didn't. And so I think the back line will be decent this weekend.
I mean, you guys have been,
because Fabinho is he's a great defender, man.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
It all kind of boils down to you know what I mean. I've touched on you before about it, bringing that CDM down, a more defensive-minded CDM to play the center back.
Yeah.
Which
is one thing that I like about Klopp.
Yeah.
Klopp knows how to get players and use them in 3 different positions.
Yeah.
I mean, Thiago's played 10, 8, 6. I mean, Fabinho's been a defensive midfielder, center back. James Milner, left back, 6, 8. I mean, today Genie was at the 6. So I'm the guy, every time he gets a player, even Firmino, he could play the 9, 7, the 10.
I mean, but I think it's not even necessarily I'm trying to figure out how to say it. I don't think it's necessarily how not how versatile they are, but I think it's just in a way it's it's kind of a joy to play under Klopp.
Yeah.
So it's if you push me anywhere, I'm going to try to do my best at this position.
Yeah.
And, it does help that Klopp always buys very versatile players.
Yeah.
Like how you're saying, you just listed 3-4 players that each of them in themselves have played 3 different positions at least this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's very many players that could have done that. And not only that, played 3 different positions, but in those 3 different positions, they've done very, very well.
True.
Almost I'm not going to say their natural position, but I mean, they, especially coming into that role you don't normally play, they've done very, very well.
Yeah.
Your guys' defense hasn't been awful.
Yeah.
You're letting in one. You're losing scrappy 1-0 to some scrappy 1-0 teams, 1-0 games. So
the problem is that we lose presence with a strong, from set pieces. We don't do well at all anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have big players like Van Dijk who can come in and just score a nice header.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of weird, but we lose offense by losing defense players too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's all connected, man.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah, especially on the set pieces.
Yeah.
I just watching Van Dijk in the penalty box is terrifying. At that point, I'm just yelling at the TV yo, I don't care if you gotta get the pen. just don't let him score the header.
What are your score predictions for this game?
I'm gonna go 2-2.
Okay.
I'll probably go 2-1 City.
Okay. 6. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lot.
Yes.
Now I can see a
pull
3-1. I
Southampton.
can see us win 3-1, just because I think even after today, like those players will be fuming that they lost today. But even with that win, I feel like it's now City's title to lose. To be honest with you, you got 2 games in hand. You're 1 point ahead of Man United, who I don't think will be up there by the end of the season. Just personally,
I think that United. They were even surprised to see themselves in that position. Like Bruno Fernandes woke up and checked the phone. He's like, "Bro, we're first in the table."
Oh my gosh, that guy. Yeah, it's still pretty early, man. When people were writing Man City off.
Yeah, which I never got that. Like, I'm like, bro, like, give him a like.
And then people were praising that Pep got an extension. They're like, good, this guy's washed up. But I still think it's still but the top 3 or 4 are still very much in contention. But
you sound like the players, bro. Like, they don't want to admit that. Like,
well, if
I was a City fan, I was like, bro, it's done.
I'll be honest. I want to win the Premier League all the time. The FA Cup and Carabao Cup, those are nice.
Carabao Cup is the City Cup.
Yeah, the City Cup. But I'm hoping that this lightning in a bottle we've caught this season with another guy we haven't even talked about, Phil Foden, stepped up.
Yeah,
that guy
what a player.
It's crazy how young he is and what he can do. But I'm just hoping that all this good momentum and cohesiveness and everything that's going, that we can finally get over that Champions League hump. We've run into some real bad luck, but so I'm excited. The title race to me is still, it's still a lot to be played for.
It's very open.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like this has been one of the most open title races I've seen in the past few years. Mm-hmm. Without teams really running away with it in the first half of that season.
Yeah.
And especially like I think the season before last, if I'm not mistaken, City won it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and they
the
had
last
already
day
kind of solidified that towards I'm not gonna say towards the end of the second half, but like middle of the second part of the season.
Yeah.
And I think touching back on Phil Foden, it's whenever you watch him play, he doesn't play like his age.
He really
He's always wanting the ball. He always wants to get on the ball. And the thing is, and they're giving it to him. That's the thing, because they know something's gonna happen if they keep feeding him. Like,
when David Silva left, everyone's natural thinking was, Phil's gonna be the replacement, and it's not turned out to be true at all. It's been more like Ilkay Gundogan's been David Silva, just creating havoc in the midfield, and Phil's just morphed into this amazing winger.
Yeah.
And who's got the goals in his pocket, the goals that he has in his pocket, man. They're just worldies for how young he is.
Ilkay came through and just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I did not expect how to score the amount of goals he scored this season.
He almost turned into what I thought Gutsy would be. You know what I'm saying?
Low key, definitely, whenever I was watching, how many games was it that he had? How many goals does he have this season?
Oh man, I think last I heard it was like 6 goals in the past 8 games or 8 games. 8 goals and 6.
They've been good goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just all about again just taking advantage of that chance you get.
We're playing without De Bruyne.
Yeah.
We've been doing all this without De Bruyne.
It was a silver lining for us.
Well, it's funny because we've played we've under Pep, we've had Kevin out for an extended period of time, and it's funny. It's like when he goes down, everybody else it's like some light switch goes off, and they're like, okay, now we just can't give the ball to Kevin, and watch him do his thing or whatever. So it's been fascinating.
Amazing outside of the foot passes.
Yeah. It's on a dime. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Nice. Well, awesome. Well, this concludes another episode of the Top Bin 90 show, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.